was like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you. I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
The world has changed. None of us can go back. All we can do is our best. And sometimes the best that we can do is to start over.
I saw all these people die.
I keep telling everybody they should move on. Some do, but not us.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
We will. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
G'day guys, my name is Caleb, otherwise known as the Critic Kebab, and we are back for another episode of the Chelsea Career Mode, this time in FC 24. EA Sports has rebranded the game, but it is pretty much the same old. We know what to expect with our manager career modes. Obviously, coming into this team, our expectations are all over the place. We don't really know what to expect from the new manager, Mauricio Pochettino, and this new Todd Boehly era. Last season was an absolute whirlwind. I cannot believe all the chaos that we had to go through. But now we have a new, fresh start under this man, Pochettino. I am skeptical. I will be honest, I am skeptical, but there's no point throwing abuse and hate and, being negative in this community. We might as well be positive, stay optimistic, and hope for the best, because with the youngsters and great potential that we have at our disposal, I do genuinely believe that something special is on the horizon here at the Chelsea Football Club. Now let's go through the settings and the logistics of how this career mode runs. This is my third year doing this series on the channel. I can't believe how quickly time has flown. Obviously, we will be playing on world class 5-minute halves, working with dollars because that's the currency I'm familiar with, being an Aussie from down under. Obviously, the European competitions, we are not involved in that at all in any capacity, which is severely disappointing, but I think it might actually be a benefit in the sense that we have more time on the training field to practice, to improve, to develop Pochettino's tactics. Time will tell if it ends up being an advantage in the long run. Obviously, financial takeover, don't need to worry about this. Negotiation strictness, international job offers, and the transfer window will be disabled. So let's continue.
A warm welcome to you all. Without further delay, we are pleased to introduce your new manager.
So the structure of how this career mode is going to work is it is going to be a realistic, real-time playthrough progressing throughout this career mode at the same time that we do in real life. So that means in this early stages, I'm going to be catching up to where we are in real life. We just versed Bournemouth and did not get a favourable result, and we've got Aston Villa on the weekend. So I'm going to be catching up to that point as quick as I can and delivering as much entertainment for you guys. And then from that point onwards, it's going to be an outlet for me to express my thoughts and feelings, for you guys to join me in the comments below and create a Chelsea community, a football community, so that we can exchange thoughts and feelings about what's happening as the season progresses in real life. That is how I structure these career modes. It's a ton of fun and it lasts all season long. So hopefully you guys can join me for the ride. Make sure you get subscribed and have the notification button turned on so that you get notified as soon as these videos go live. Most of them will get uploaded either just before or just after the Premier League games in real life. Now in FC24, they've included this new tactical vision of sorts, which basically allows you to put your own imprint on the way that your team is going to play, and you can be a bit more specific with your tactics. And there are variations of this. We're going to go through some of them now and make a decision as to what I am going to be playing with, because this will be the first time me testing it. It'll probably evolve and change throughout the season, but let's go with the options that we've got so far. Obviously standard, your team takes a balanced approach to the game, focused on maintaining a shape which will help you stay strong defensively while still offering a threat going forward. Wing play, your side makes use of the full width of the pitch when in possession, getting the ball out to attacking players close to the touchlines quickly and using overlapping fullbacks to add to the threat from those areas. Interesting, there is elements of that we do use in real life, obviously with Reece James and Ben Chilwell. Now at the moment, of course, Gusto and Colwell. Tiki-taka, you look to employ a possession-based style of play, comfortable on the ball all over the pitch. Your players use short passing and rotations while waiting for opportunities to play in attackers who run into channels or gaps between opposition defenders. Obviously, I like having possession of the ball. I like choking the opposition by not allowing them to have it, similar to how Man City play. We may consider this. Gegenpressing. Your strategy is based around a high press. Your team tries to win the ball back in the opponent's third whenever possible, using turnovers to create goal-scoring opportunities before the opposition can settle back into their shape. This is very much so a Liverpool style of play. I don't think that's what I'll use for the Chelsea Football Club. I don't think we have the players that will be able to make use of this tactical vision, but again, something to consider. Park the bus. Classic Jose Mourinho tactics right here. Your team bases its game around solid, uncompromising defending. You're always disciplined and well organized out of possession, usually employing a very low block, throttling opponents' attack before winning the ball and trying to get forward yourselves. Definitely not going to be parking the bus, but I'm so glad it's an option in this game. Counter-attack. Low risk and a low block are keys to your team's style of play. Players defend the penalty area, and then, once possession is regained, get the ball forward quickly with attackers ready to run into space behind the opponent's defensive line. Kick and rush. A style of play built around strength and athleticism. Enables your players to often bypass midfield, getting the ball forward quickly to your powerful strikers who can exploit space behind defenders and battle for second balls and knockdowns. Now, after careful consideration, wing play does seem very appealing to me, but I do think I'm going to go with tiki-taka. I love having possession of the ball, making those short passes, passing and move, and then looking to move the ball up the field and then hopefully score a goal that way. So let's make that our tactical vision to begin with, and then we'll evolve our style of play as I get used to the game. The next thing that we have to talk about is how they've revolutionized the coaching and training aspect of career mode. On paper, this sounds really clever. You have to, acquire high-ranking coaches to improve your players, and you have to be really smart with how you balance the budget and who you're getting in order to, make the most of certain attributes. Whether this feature ends up being something that we utilize throughout the entirety of a career mode, or whether it gets used once and then we forget it, like many features in previous FIFAs, time will tell. But of course, let's go through some of the coaches here and get ourselves as best prepared, because we need to improve a lot of the players in our squad ASAP. This coach here is an expert in basically every department, so he's going to cost us a fair amount of money, and it's as simple as that. You select the coach that you want to hire, and then you assign them to the area of the team that needs the most improvement from said coach, if that makes sense. And we are completely injury-free at the beginning of this career mode. I have updated it to the most up-to-date squads that's possible at this point in time, but obviously we won't have to worry about the injury crisis that poor Pochettino is going through right now. And I cannot wait to see what players are going to work best, because Raheem Sterling, he's such a frustrating player because he's so inconsistent, but he's got class. Whether he becomes our main man up top, I don't know. I personally think that Mykhailo Mudryk and Noni Madueke need to be getting as many minutes as possible so that they can improve. But time will tell. In saying that, let's have a look at the Chelsea team that we've got at our disposal. Now, the biggest debate I can see happening online between other Chelsea fans is our formation, our style of play. Obviously, 4-2-3-1 is something that Pochettino is familiar with, and that is what we've been playing with in a sort of fluid formation, having three at the back, including Thiago Silva in the centre, with Disasi and Colwell either side of him. But whether I stick with the 4-2-3-1, I don't know. I think I will to begin with, but obviously playing with five at the back and having those wing backs such as Chilwell and James constantly get up and down, that is my preferred style of play. And then having two really classy midfielders in the center of the park, just be able to dictate tempo and control the game that way. But of course, this being a new, FIFA game, FC24, we will have to get used to various different things and see which formation works best. The 4-2-3-1 is always a solid choice, so I think we will stick with this. And in my opinion, I think this is our best possible team at our disposal. Obviously, we've got Broja that I will be making much use of throughout this year, because he's going to be a crucial option coming off the base with his pace and athleticism. A great backup option to Nicholas Jackson. Raheem Sterling can play on the left or the right. Easy bench option for me. Now Cole Palmer, 67 rated. It's so bad, honestly. It's borderline unusable in a career mode, to be fair. In saying that, I would like to make use of him because I do think him as a cam will be so deadly and lethal for us this year, especially now that Chukwuemeka is also out for some time. Lavia, 73 rated, fair enough. He did come from Southampton, who were not the best of sides. Badiashile, Cucurella, and then we've got all these other players here. Chukwuemeka also only 65 rated. I feel like a lot of Chelsea players, because they are kind of unknown, they haven't got the portfolio of work to say, this is what I can do, even though they are clearly all very talented. So I think their FC24 ratings don't really reflect their true quality. But at the end of the day, you've got to demonstrate on the pitch how good you are. And a lot of these players just haven't as of yet. So Chukwuemeka only 65 rated, and Thiago Silva 84. And I don't think he's going to be getting any higher for us, unfortunately. The big debate that I'm not going to go into in my mind right now, but I would love for you guys to weigh in the comments below. Do I use Silva at all? Does he become a crucial element of my team playing in the centre with, two centre backs either side of him in a back five? Or do I just stick with Disasi and Colwell, or Badiashile and Fofana in a back four? In terms of roles, Reece James is our captain, and I'm so happy for him because he's been at the club since he was a youngster, and to be able to raise through the ranks, make a great first impression when he first broke into the team under Frank Lampard, and now be able to wear the armband, I just could not be more happy that the man bleeds blue and is representing our club. The question is, will he be able to stay fit for long periods of time to be able to earn his place in the team? Because Malo Gusto, I am very impressed with him. And if he keeps improving, then Reece James is going to have a tough time staying in this team if he's always getting injured. In saying that, I am so grateful to have a leader like him at our club. Now let's go through our squad hub, have a look at some player faces, see how many of them are real faces, and also explain what has happened to our squad and the overhaul magnificence that Todd Boehly has accomplished over the transfer window, because it really was A, unexpected, in my opinion at least, and B, completely revolutionary for the way top teams do transfer windows at this level. Because those who watched last career mode in FIFA 23, at the end of it, I said, I'm expecting a few players to go, like Kovacic, Hakim Ziyech, Aubameyang. I thought a few players would go. I obviously wanted a massive clear out, but just realistically, I'm like, a lot of these players are on big contracts, big money. It might not be easy to get rid of them, but Todd Boehly and the other owners just foresaw the opportunity that the Saudi Arabian League would have, and we just rode that wave perfectly, getting rid of players like Edouard Mendy, Kalidou Koulibaly, so many players we were able to just clear out and get rid of the dead wood. And I am so impressed by the owners and the sporting directors and the work that they have accomplished, and they deserve our praise and our thanks, because the team that we have got now is completely different to the team we had last season. So in terms of expectations, that's something that we can discuss, but I think, we just have to give trust to the process and hopefully things will work out. In terms of goalkeeping options, obviously we've got Kepa out on loan, Sanchez, Petrovic, and Eddie Beach, who I've never heard of in my life, but Petrovic being the new sign that just came to the club, and Robert Sanchez taking up the number 1, has a real face, which is good to see. But Kepa Arrizabalaga, he was an interesting departure, because I personally would have liked to have seen him stay at the club. I think there is a player in there, it just needs time to come out, if that makes sense. But in saying that, him going off and playing in Madrid, it's a new experience. He's going to learn under new coaches, and I think it might be a great opportunity for him to actually, spend some time away from England and actually improve in a different capacity. So if he does return and play in a Chelsea shirt again, I won't be against it. Just hopefully he comes back ready to be even better than what he has been in the past, because we spent a lot of money on him. And if we want to be getting a return on investment, it either needs to be through a fat paycheck or with him keeping clean sheets in a Chelsea shirt. Ben Chilwell, co-captain at the club, very impressed with everything he's been doing so far. Marc Cucurella, he was a potential late departure as well to Manchester United on loan. I am also glad that he is staying. If he did end up leaving, I wouldn't have been too upset. Again, another opportunity to get some more minutes and improve, but he is definitely a player that is polarizing within our community. And in my opinion, I think it is absolutely undoubtable that he has quality. He showed it at Brighton, and I was so impressed by everything he accomplished there. And then when he came to the Bridge, you could just kind of tell, similar to Graham Potter, that the pressure was just a little bit too much for him. That he hasn't been able to step up to the plate and level up, so to speak. I think that we can definitely make the most out of him, more so as an inverted left back, not so much as an advancing, overlapping wing back, which is kind of how we play. So I think he's a great backup option to have to Ben Chilwell. But in saying that, if this lad, Ian Maatsen, who unfortunately does not have a real face, if he can continue to improve, he might end up actually being the next best option. Lewis Hall, of course, out on loan at Newcastle, a great opportunity for him. Obviously, I would love for him to return, but at the same time, if he ends up leaving permanently, it won't be the end of the world. I do see him as a Billy Gilmore situation, full of talent, but probably not elite and what Chelsea need long term. Let's go through the centre backs now. Thiago Silva, Axel Disasi, who does not have a real face. I don't know. I don't think that's him. It looks slightly off. Trevor Chalobah, real face, good to see. Malang Sarr, don't know how he's still at the club. Badiashile, damn, not a real face. Wesley Fofana, yes, he's still in the game. Brooking and Levi Colwill, who does not have a real face. So disappointing. Reece James, who we've already discussed. Milo Gusto has a real face, which is great to see. And now, let's get into our midfielders. And this is an area of the field that is full of intrigue. Moises Caicedo, the transfer saga of the window. In January, it was all about Enzo Fernandez. Will he, won't he? Can the job get done? And it was the same exact thing with Moises Caicedo. Liverpool coming in late, trying to steal him off us. Bizarre move by them. But Caicedo always had his sights set on Stamford Bridge, and I'm so glad that he has joined us. I can't see him as a box-to-box player. I do see him as, sitting just in front of the centre-backs, cleaning up all the mess in the midfield, and then allowing Enzo Fernandez to be the maestro, be on the ball, and just ping the ball here, there, and everywhere. Lavia, also a player that flirted with a move to Anfield. In the end, he chose the long-term project that is the Chelsea Football Club. That is a player that I'm excited to see once he returns from injury. Conor Gallagher, real face, updated as well, which is great to see. Enzo Fernandez, he also has a real face. His hairstyle is not great though, to be honest. I would have much preferred him with the longer hair, even with the blonde streaks, that would have been cool. But shaved head, it is what it is. Leslie Okajukwu, he has not got a real face, unfortunately. He's also a 19-year-old young talent that I want to see more of. But then again, I can't really see how he fits into the team once we've got everyone fit. With Fernandez, Caicedo, Lavia, Chukwuemeka, all that. He's definitely sort of 5th or 6th choice in my opinion. Chukwuemeka doesn't have a real face. I'm starting to see a pattern here, guys. A lot of not real faces in the game as of right now. And then we've got some lone players who I'm not too interested in talking about. And of course, our attackers. Raheem Sterling, 83 rated. He's definitely fallen from his previous glory. He still has a role to play in this team as one of our more experienced players. His goal coming into the season was to be Chelsea top scorer. He has to prove that now. He said it in the media. We've all heard it. Go out and show us what you can do, mate, because we know you're good. It just needs to be consistently good. Mudryk, only 75 rated. That's a huge problem, in my opinion. I think we can easily improve those stats quickly, but if we're going to be getting lots of consistent goals from him, which he still hasn't done in real life, but if we're going to get them in the career mode and be successful this season, he's going to be a key asset for us 100%. Noni Madueke, 77 rated. He also has a real face. Cole Palmer, yes, he has a real face, which is good to see. Questionable haircut, but it is what it is. And Christopher Nkunku, he's probably our A-list signing of the window. Coming from RB Leipzig, scoring a ton of goals, a player full of flair and an iconic celebration. Unfortunately, his injury was a huge blow because in preseason, his link-up play with Jackson was a sight to behold, and I was really intrigued to see how he would play in our formation, most likely as a cam. Unfortunately, we have to wait until he returns off the sidelines. Armando Broja, who also has a real face, 21-year-old Albanian, is 75 rated, and then our main man up top, Nicholas Jackson, 78 rated. Again, that is problematic. Having a striker who is that lowly rated and is going to need to score 10, 15, 20 goals for us to accomplish our desired objectives this season, that being European football, top 6 maybe, if we're lucky. He's going to have to be outperforming week in, week out because 78 rated, that's going to be tough for us. And the last player that we're going to have a look at is David Washington, 67 rated. I can't see him featuring much or if at all. David Datro Fofana has obviously been impressing at Union Berlin on loan. Excited to see him return. And then obviously Romelu Lukaku, still permanently somehow at our club still. The day he exits will be a day to rejoice, but on loan, I guess it is what it is, back with Jose Mourinho. The less said about Lukaku, the better, in my opinion. So another feature that has been reworked is the way that you improve sharpness and fitness. And I think on paper, again, this is a process that sounds far superior than the previous ones. And it basically allows you to select individuals and or the entire group and improve it in a way where it's, focusing all out on sharpness or all out on fitness. And I think that's, a useful asset to have. So you can do something like this, select Nicholas Jackson, and let's say we want to be, all out energy or all out performance. Let's say Reece James is a little bit low on fitness. So you can just go, all out energy, and then your sharpness will not improve as much, but your fitness will grow exponentially. So I like the way that has been set up. But because we are in pre-season and we're still many weeks away from games, what I'm going to do is focus on all-out performance across the entire squad and get everyone ready to go and be as match sharp as possible so we can get into the first game of the season up against Liverpool and be as ready as possible. Look, I think I'm going to leave it there for the first episode. If you enjoyed, make sure you smash that like button. Of course, comment your thoughts on anything Chelsea related down in the comments below. I am going to pose a question to you. What are our expectations for this season? Is it top 4 Champions League football straight away? Or is it finishing top 6, top 7? Or in my opinion, is a top 10 finish probably where we're at? Because we've got so many great teams in the Premier League right now. It's so competitive. It's going to be tough. Episode 2 of the Career Mode is coming to you shortly, so make sure you're subscribed and have that notification button turned on so that you get notified as soon as these videos go live on the channel. Thanks so much for watching, Chelsea fans. Strap yourselves in. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but one that I'm very much so looking forward to. Catch you in the next one.